Welcome to the Hitch List, a podcast for wedding lovers, planners, and party people. We're your hosts, Abby.
And I'm Cassidy, two seasoned event vendors spilling the champagne on what really goes on behind the scenes.
From the planning stage to the final send-off, we're diving into everything events. Brides, grooms, planners, parties, vendors, and the wild stuff no one tells you about.
Whether you're planning your dream day, you're knee-deep in vendor contracts, or working in the industry, we've got the tips, tea, and timeline talk to keep you sane.
This is the Hitch List, where we plan, party, and celebrate every detail. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Hitch List, where we get you hitched without a hitch. We are super excited to have Steven with Simply Seafood Catering joining us today. Steven, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, and all the ins and outs of it?
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for having me. I really appreciate it. I think this is a great opportunity to shed light on businesses. Also, go through all the ins and outs of what a wedding consists of, all the different working parts of the vendors, the clients. It's a lot more than a lot of people think, just because you don't get married every day or every year. So people don't realize kind of all the nuts and bolts that really go into it and the logistics behind it, and it can be a very overwhelming task if you're not prepared for it. So I really enjoy speaking about it and everything, and thank you for having me. So Simply Seafood and Catering, we are a full service catering company here in South Mississippi. Currently our kitchen facility is in Moss Point off of Highway 63. We started in Biloxi, then we moved to Van Cleve, and then now we're in Moss Point, kind of North Moss Point up there. I personally have been owning the business for 7 years now. I took it over in 2018. Not really the best story of how I got started in the business. It was my dad's company. He passed away, and then I jumped in just to kind of hold the walls up and fulfill our existing contracts. And after a few months of doing it, I was like, man, I really like working for myself, and I really enjoy kind of seeing how the sausage is made, no pun intended, but being a food guy, but just kind of seeing how it starts from one thing and you turn it into this amazing, great finished product. And there's so much work that goes behind the scenes that is so self-fulfilling, and it's just a really good thing to see that you actually made a difference in anything.
The biggest day in
I mean
life,
this is this family's biggest day they're gonna have, and you don't realize. I've kind of gotten accustomed to it, but in the beginning I was like, wow, this is huge. And me being engaged now and seeing my fiance's family going through the process and mine too, and it is kind of funny to I'm on the other side of it and kind of seeing how it goes.
It hits different when you're on the opposite end of it now.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I was working for the company, I think we started the business back in 2005, right after Hurricane Katrina. So I definitely understood what went into it, but I was just kind of low man on the totem pole.
That's
doing
what I was
the
gonna ask.
dishes.
Did you work with your dad when he was still here?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Saturdays, a lot of nights and stuff like that. Working weddings, big corporate events, but just really doing the worst job we have of the dishes, unloading the trailer, messing around with equipment on off days, and I was like,
You're the unpaid employee.
Yeah, I was like, this $10 an hour really isn't
Yeah.
working for me. But yeah, I guess I had free room and board at the house and 3 square meals a day. But I was like, man, this is. I was trying to get out of it any chance I got. So.
It's funny how life happens, and you
Yeah,
actually are
yeah,
like, just kidding,
definitely.
and here I am.
Definitely. So, yeah, when I took the business over, I was like, okay, I was working another job, corporate America, sales. So I was not in the industry whatsoever. Took the, company over, and I knew what the finished product needed to look like, but I did not know how to get there. But thankfully, the amazing staff that we had on hand, and still most of them currently still work for me and us, and they were just like, look, buddy, this is what we need, you bring us this and we'll kind of guide you along. And so that was definitely a lifesaver in kind of holding the walls up and getting us pointed in the right direction. And there was a lot of learning curves in the beginning. I mean, I was getting after every wedding or function. I was like,
You're just saying yes.
does there anything ever go right with us? Like, I mean, is it does it feels like I'm gonna like blow this whole thing up every weekend, or something catastrophic happens to where it's like, wow, we really dodged a bullet that one. I'm like, does it ever go smooth? Like,
do we ever just show up,
yeah,
do it, and then
like,
leave?
Yeah, I was just like really overwhelmed the first like
Close to
6
burnout
months,
every
and
bit,
then.
yeah.
And, we kind of got our footing, beginning of 2019, and then COVID hit. And then it was like, all right, well, we're not doing any events. And then, we're only doing these secret under-the-table weddings. And, like, it was a wild,
don't know
wild
one.
west. And, like, you don't know when your calendar is looking so bleak. And for each season, and you're
Had
really
you already
starting
moved into doing it full time at that point, like left
Yeah.
corporate?
Yeah, I tried to do my old corporate job for about a month or so, and I was like, man, I'm really, it's not fair to my new company, and it's not fair to the people I work with currently. And they were amazing with me and the whole process and everything, and they even helped me get out of a lease up in Huntsville where I was living.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, and I still talk to a lot of those people today. They're great lifelong mentors and friends. So
That makes
really,
a difference when people have your back.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we're gonna help
yeah,
you.
I mean, they were phenomenal, still are. So that was really great. But yeah, I did that for about a month, and I was like, all right, well, we're kind of putting all of our eggs into this catering basket. So it's been going great. But yeah, then we ran into the hurdle of COVID, and that was such an interesting situation and all that. So we were able to kind of navigate through that, and then getting through COVID, and it was like I actually had kind of a weird I had a weird work injury right after COVID. I was like, all right, we're back. It's the beginning of 2021. We're kind of stepping our foot in the right direction. We got a good spring booked, and didn't know how dangerous this job was, and no formal training of culinary school or anything like that. So it was just all on the job training. And one night I was using a mandolin slicer, and I didn't know the dangers of it, and my hand slipped, and I mean it almost cut my middle finger off.
That happened to my father-in-law.
I sliced the tip of my ring finger a couple of months ago so I was trying to slice some potatoes.
This is why I don't cook.
Yeah, and
I still have the little scar. It's actually been bothering me this past weekend.
Right, and I'm sure everybody can say, well, you weren't doing this right, or you weren't doing. I didn't know. I'm sorry, didn't know.
I was gonna ask.
Isn't
if
that
you
the
went
most
to-
dangerous, like,
Yeah,
everyday kitchen item in people's homes? Is the mandolin slicer?
Well, I was gonna ask if you went to culinary school, but
I did not know.
It was all just grew up in it. And
Yeah,
was
just grew up in it.
hands-on
I always had a very big interest in food. Not so much. I did like the cooking aspect of it when I was younger, and then we did have a restaurant inside a seafood market in Biloxi, and I was kind of got my feet wet doing the cooking side, and I was like, whew, I do not want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a quick-lived dream there, but yeah, no culinary school and everything. And that night I cut my hand. I just kind of bandaged my hand up, drove over to my mom's house, and I was like, I'm just kind of having trouble getting this to stop bleeding. You got any like ointment or something?
Ain't nothing a little crazy.
She's like, we need to go to the ER, and I was like,
Oh.
really? No, I don't think it's that bad. We go to the ER. The ER doctors instantly freaked out, so I knew we had an issue there. And he's like, yeah, we got to have emergency plastic surgery, like, as soon as possible. And, I mean, this is on, like, a Thursday.
Not
I've got a
just as we were
rehearsal
cutting
dinner
onions.
and a wedding on Saturday. And, I mean, this is when I was really crazy and like to do all my prep work the day before, like right.
So you
like,
were
try to
prepped
cut it,
like you
try
should
to
have
cut it close as possible. Like, I mean, it was just
Oh,
so
gosh.
stupid. Honest learning experience, and yeah, that was fun. Fun thing. Had to have a little skin graft on my middle finger, and I was left-handed, so that was just. I mean, my arm was just in a cast all the way up to my elbow
That's crazy.
for about a month, and then
How much did it take off?
it took off this like a good quarter size. I mean, you could see the tendons. It was all the way down to the bone. And, so they did the skin graft right there from my left forearm.
Holy man. I'm over here like, my husband
Yeah.
and my husband's business partner, they're notorious for like cutting off their fingers actually. Not all of it, just like a little bit.
Not the whole finger.
They work they build cabinets.
Right.
So like they're
Oh,
on
yeah.
like
Okay,
really-
but that injury.
But my husband
You're
is like,
"Ah."
do you have crazy glue? I'm like, sorry, I didn't go to the craft store before this. It's okay.
I don't know. That's crazy.
But he didn't do that. That's some damage. I mean,
Yeah, that was eye-opening of like,
yeah.
all right, buddy, well, if you're going to do this, like, you better get a little more well-versed on what can hurt you and, situations and everything, because I was, 2021. I mean, that was, 4 or 5 years ago, and yeah, did
Well,
not
you become
know
so
that.
comfortable on the thing that you're using.
Yeah,
and
and that was one of the first times I had used that thing. I was like,
Just
oh
kidding,
my
then.
gosh, I am going to get through this
You're
prep
like,
work
this is
so
easy.
quick. Thank God they made these slip.
This is the best invention
oh my
ever.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, that was tough. That was very, I was like, well, got hurt at work, like, okay. But, as a business owner, it was like, okay, well, what do we do now? Like, so, get people that weren't working to try to get them to work and stuff. But, everything did go off without a hitch from the client's perspective for that little month, but, that was a roller coaster for
So
sure.
you had a team of people though then
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Okay. So you came into it with a team of people
I did, yeah.
and they
I did.
stayed, but you
Yeah.
had them able to help you for that. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that goes to show too how, I guess, well, your father had run that business that when you unfortunately had to take over,
Yeah.
they were so accepting of you. Not that they hadn't worked with you prior to, but
Right.
they were like, heck yeah, absolutely, we'll take you under our wing and not,
Yeah.
that situation could have been horrible. It could have,
Right.
they could have
Yeah.
lost their jobs. That business could have gone under.
Yeah.
You were willing to take it over, and then they were willing to keep it going without a hitch.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they came pre-trained, so that was
Right.
that was huge. That was
Did
really
your dad
great.
do culinary
Yes,
school?
yeah. His whole entire life he was in the culinary field.
Okay.
He went to Southern Miss for it, and then I think their hotel hospitality program, and he was the food and beverage director at Boomtown Casino from when they opened to about 2004, and then he opened up our catering company, I think right around Hurricane Katrina. He was big. Him and his buddies in the business were so big into storm disaster relief. They were living for those, and we still do storm disaster relief, and I don't love it as much as my dad did, because it was just like, oh yeah, it's great money and it's all this, but it is the most round the clock, 24/7
Yeah.
stressful. It is really tough. But yeah, they loved it, and they kind of opened it up, the catering business, right around Hurricane Katrina, and that hit, and we all know what happened there. And then he was able to open up a restaurant inside a seafood market in Biloxi. So we could do that and do our catering business as well. And then I think when I was off at college, I think he just separated. He got out of the restaurant industry and just wanted to do the catering. And that's what, that's where the business was when I took it over.
Was it always in, like, wedding and events? Was that mainly the...
I would say I do a lot more weddings than the business did prior to.
Okay.
I would say before I took over, it was more structured on corporate stuff.
Okay.
Corporate get-togethers, not so much weddings. I mean, there was one, maybe one a month or something like that in their peak seasons, but I think, from what I hear and everything, we do a lot more weddings, now, and we still have the corporate sector part of it too, which is great,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So you talked a little bit about your worst accident, I guess.
Yeah.
That you've had. I'm assuming that's the worst.
Yeah.
One so far.
Yeah.
So what about, I guess, the worst mishap you guys have had at weddings? You talked about it was like one rough go of it after another when you first took it over, but
this was in December of 2018. So I've been running the business for a fresh 3 months, really, seasoned
So
veteran
we're off
here.
to a good start.
Right.
And we had just done like a huge Christmas party on Saturday night, and I think we had an events. During after Thanksgiving, usually it's to the end of the new year. We have something pretty much every single day, and I think we had just had like a heck of a week, and it was a Sunday wedding. It was in Biloxi.
Love a good Sunday wedding.
Yeah, good Sunday wedding, and we were loading up the trailers, hot boxes, coolers, and we were going with, we had the truck and trailer set up, and we would just load all the decorations and stuff in our enclosed cargo trailer, all the coolers, hot boxes, that would go in the bed of the truck. And we're kind of loading things together, and I guess somebody, hitched up the trailer. I'm not sure. I don't know.
No.
I probably was the one
know where
that
this
did
is
it.
going.
And, I wasn't the most experienced one at doing that kind of stuff.
I don't want to say it was
either.
me, but it probably was.
So we're riding down I-110 in D'Iberville, about to go over the Biloxi Bridge, and one of our cooks is with me, and we're talking about something, the wedding, we're headed to it, and I'm like, man, this trailer behind me looks like it's moving a little bit, What do you think? And he was like, yeah, it is kind of moving, like, why don't you slow down some more? And I was already a little skeptical about driving a truck and trailer, being just not experienced in it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going more than 55, 60 miles an hour, so I start to slow down. At that point, the trailer, which thankfully it was a double axle trailer, so it has 2 tires on each side, one side catches a flat tire, and so sparks are coming up, and then the trailer starts kind of hopping left and right, and the trailer pops off the hitch. It jumps off.
Oh no.
The trailer jumps off the hitch. It rips the safety chains off the bottom of the truck, and then the trailer goes into the median, and luckily those metal cables are in the median. It hits the nose of the trailer, hits the median cables, and just bounces it another way. So thankfully it never barrel rolled or did anything like that. It just kind of went on a nice little spin cycle. And
oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my gosh. So this trailer is perpendicular on the interstate, and we've got traffic so backed up.
You have logos on all the
I'm sure the trailer's got an expired tag. I don't even know. I'm not even.
Oh no.
So luckily another one of our cooks was behind us, just in case for something like that, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Follow behind me. I'd rather hit you than
Who does?
somebody
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Precautionary. So we pull off in the emergency lane. We realize the trailer's still upright. It's kind of fine. Just got 1 out of 4 flat tires.
The food's still okay.
Yeah. Well, that time we decided to put some of the food in the trailer this
That-
time,
yeah.
because we had so much room in the cargo trailer. We're not going to fool around putting it in the back of the bed of the truck like we normally do. So we're like, all right, we're not going to look in the trailer right this second. This is like a 30 seconds of like, we got to figure something out. So we're able to jack the trailer back up, put it onto the back of the truck. And, I mean, a couple people got out of their cars and helped us lift it up and put it there. And we just limp, to this wedding venue. It was in Biloxi. Just
That's
limp there. I mean, we're
crazy.
pulling in to the venue, and it's just like one of the most embarrassing things. And, like, people are kind of outside taking photos or whatever at the venue. And here comes Simply Seafood, like, with a, limping into the event. So we get to the back of the loading dock and everything. And then, so it's like, all right, staff's here. Let's just kind of like do what we can. We open up the trailer, and everything that was in the back of the trailer was now upside down in the front of the trailer. I mean, there was Christmas decorations, Christmas time, Christmas decorations everywhere, little nutcrackers in 1,000 pieces. I mean, we were serving coffee too. I mean, I found coffee grinds in everything for the next month, just wild. So luckily none of the food was really wasted or some of the food or cold stuff like fruit and stuff that was thrown out and stuff like that. We were able to kind of run to Walmart really quick and kind of reshuffle things, but nothing like catastrophic besides the trailer tire issue. But from the client's perspective, I think it went pretty well. I mean,
Good.
I think it
Did
went
they
fine.
know
Yeah.
initially that had happened, or did you share with them
they
after?
definitely knew.
Like,
But
guess
I don't
what?
think
They were actually out there taking pictures.
Yeah, I don't think we had to push anything back or nothing.
Yeah,
on-
that's a
so
miracle.
that was
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
that was good. I mean, we just had a couple dented Schaefers and broken dishes and stuff like that. But other than that, it went off without a hitch.
My gosh.
So yeah, that was about the worst one. So instantly, I went and bought like a box truck, and I was like, oh, "This is never going to happen to me again." So yeah, I went and got a box truck. Went to
Another
a U-Haul,
lesson learned.
went to a U-Haul dealership and bought a box truck and been using those ever since. So yeah. And I
That's
mean, we
crazy.
have a truck and trailer now set up for like our really larger events, the storm services and stuff. I've got it, but I've got the best hitch you could buy. I've got the sway bars. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got everything under control.
Well, at that
here.
point, it's worth the investment.
Oh yeah,
of-
you don't realize how south things can go and how quick it can go. So
Right.
yeah, just a good old fashioned on the job training. That's what I like to refer to.
That's the best
know,
way to
these
learn is throw them
events
to
and
the
stuff.
wolves.
Yeah.
Events that I do, and I'm like, man, I really probably shouldn't have done this, or I would have done this differently, or weddings. I'm like, okay, next time that was a learning experience. I got but
But
next
you
time,
didn't let
this
it
is how we'll
affect
do
the client, though. That's,
Right. Yeah,
I mean, that
huge. Yeah,
commends to you for not,
right.
that could make somebody say, sorry, we can no longer
Yeah,
serve you on your wedding day, and then they're
Exactly.
out of caterer, and that's
right. I mean,
that's what I ask clients is, what are the main things you remember about weddings as a guest when you attend them?
yeah,
Food and entertainment.
yeah.
How good was the food? How good was the entertainment?
It's a huge
so when
ball
one of
to
those
drop.
is,
I mean,
Yeah.
It's always the number one thing
Yeah.
that they say.
I literally had a thought prop up in my head. I was like, I'm just gonna have to like order Olive Garden really quick, or like, I mean, I was like really
Yeah.
scrambling of like, I have no idea what's inside this cargo trailer, like how
Right.
the stuff looks.
being able to take that extra, being willing to take that extra step had
Yeah.
you needed to, though, that we've talked about this in past episodes. Like, that's the
Yeah.
mark of what separates wedding vendors from great wedding
Yeah.
vendors, is the ones that are like, okay, let me go spend.
Yeah,
Anybody can show up and do, but somebody that can
Mhm.
show up, problem solve, figure it
Yeah.
out, go above and beyond.
Being
That's
willing
what
to.
separates the two people.
critical thinking and problem solving on the fly is just like one of the biggest prerequisites
Yeah,
to
you
being
can't
a
just
wedding
learn
vendor.
that.
I mean, yeah, something's gonna go wrong. Something you
Yeah.
didn't plan for. You could try to plan for everything, and I mean, we do. I mean,
You
I'm
weren't planning
loading-
that day for that
I
to
mean,
happen, though.
the day of a wedding, and I'm like on such a
It
time
was like
crunch.
plan D.
I mean, I'm bringing so much stuff that is just a in case. Like,
Right.
you know, like, I mean, what I've got in my I've got like this personal, like, collapsible tote. And I mean, the stuff that's in that, we're not going to use that. Like, no chance. But it's just,
That's
have
if 15
to
other
take
things
it.
have gone wrong.
Yeah, I have to take that and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Is
you
your
know?
mandolin slicer in there?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely. But I was gifted like these cut resistant gloves, and I was like, oh, they make these. This
You're
is
like,
nice.
where were these
And
at?
Those
I
are
mean,
in there for
they're
sure.
great. I mean, you can go to town on the mandolin slicer, no fear whatsoever. I mean,
Do you
I'm
use
like,
those?
Huh?
You use those?
I use it all the time. I mean, you can't beat the
Good.
prep time that cuts off. I mean,
Not having to worry about slicing your
yeah. I
hand.
mean, it's awesome.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
Wait, so you prep? So back then you were doing it the day before rehearsal?
Yeah, I mean, that was on I think a late Thursday night. But like, I mean, now you can start the day before, but I mean, this is like 10 o'clock at night. I mean,
Yeah.
that was
God, no,
stupid.
thank you.
Yeah, that was so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
What were you,
you know?
running off of? Duncan?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like, well, I got to get it done, and I was kind of making my own schedule and pretty, you know.
You were learning.
We weren't super busy, so I was just like, well, I'll do everything I want to do before I have to do this work. And, like, you don't make it a priority
Yeah.
and stuff, and you don't realize how, you know, something's going to go wrong. You're going to run out of something. You're going to get shorted on something.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to Walmart at midnight, or you're going to have to go
That's
to
when Walmart
the
was
grocery
open at
store.
midnight.
Yeah, I mean, things are going to happen and stuff. So, you know, realizing don't cut it so close. Like, you know, there's things
Yeah.
that you can do ahead of time that will make your life so much easier the day of the event. Because the day of the event, I wake up and there's a clock above my head of like, all right, we're serving at this time. Everything is dictated around that serving time. Like, literally everything.
You know, that makes me think of this. A lot of people say, "Well, I do better under pressure, so I wait until the last moment." No, you are a poor planner.
Yeah.
Failure to plan, that is what happens. You prepared wrong. That's
Yeah.
why you're now under pressure, and so you're doing everything that you can to make it happen. But you didn't discipline yourself enough
Right.
to take the
I
time.
love how you said that.
Yeah.
It's a timer ticking above your head. Like,
Yeah.
everything is going off of that time you know is
Oh,
your
yeah.
serve time.
Right.
And that's how, I mean, that's a big question for clients that they ask us, well, what about a timeline? Are you creating one? Does my photographer create one? Like, how does that look like? Or here's the timeline that I've created.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to, everything is dictated from the time that you communicated your ceremony is going to start to your guests.
Right.
And then from there, everything has to branch off.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, people don't get married every day. They don't get married every year. They don't understand those logistics and behind the scenes that have to go into it, and it affects literally every other vendor.
People think
Catering,
yeah.
Very
hair
much
and
so,
makeup,
yeah.
photography, planners,
They
DJ,
think
everybody.
we just show up, we get married at 4:30, and then we eat at 5. And you're like, that's great on paper. That, though, is not how that works.
So many more factors have to go into it.
Right.
And
yeah.
you have to communicate all of those details to everybody as well.
Right, yeah, and I mean, even like y'all have such a wider scope of the timeline of like, I mean, I'm looking at some of these timelines. It's like 7 a.m. The hair and makeup's gonna
Right.
be there. I'm like,
But
okay,
that
what
7
time's the
a.m. was
ceremony?
found
And then
based on what time the ceremony, and
what
we
time's
worked
the ceremony?
backwards.
Yeah,
How
what
many
times-
people are getting
Then I'm
it
thinking,
done?
I'm like, okay, what kind of setup do we have? You
How
know,
long is
so
it going to take
how
us
long
to
is it
set
gonna
up?
take? Do they have linens there? What is the
Yup.
table situation? I mean, it can go from 2 hours for us is cutting it pretty close, but some of these venues have full blown table setup, linen, and there's really not. Besides decorating, that's all we have to do and set up all of our equipment, so we can kind of knock that out. But I mean, if it's a full blown setup, like where we're bringing everything, it's
Gonna take
3 or
longer.
4 hours.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so that's worst wedding mishap. What can you put your finger on your favorite? Like one that is just like, wow,
My favorite.
this is the most perfect. Everything went great.
The next one, you know, like I think I mean,
It was the one wedding that he worked with me, actually.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
we've done
Because of the best planner that
He
was
the
there.
best planner. We've worked
Yeah.
7 weddings together.
You know,
Just
I mean,
kidding.
it's hard to pinpoint which one. I mean, there was just different things at different ones that, like, one time, like, I don't know what happened, but the setup was just perfect. Like, it flowed great. Everything, that the presentation was, 10 out of 10. And that's what we strive to do, like, every single event. Like, like these weddings, like, I want to give these people, like, the best value for their money. Like, I am so uptight. I'm so, intense about how this needs to look, because these people are, they're going off of the pictures we're posting, and we're posting, like, the best of the best, and we need to make it look just like this every single time.
Well, you do it with intention.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the service.
You know what they're spending. You know the value
right,
of
exactly.
your own dollar.
Yeah, like,
and now
right.
planning your own wedding. You know how much all of this stuff costs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think, like, some of the setups, and another thing that really, with us is having the space to do these type of things and being able for us to provide the best of the best. Sometimes that does frustrate me when we get to a site or a venue and they're like, well, you're stuck with this 5x7 table to do your whole cocktail hour food. I'm like, I've got 2 pass arounds. I've got this full fruit, cheese, vegetable, charcuterie display. Like, I need some space, and you're really handcuffing me by putting me in this small little area.
I wish venues.
And I get it.
Well,
I
so
get it.
to work around that, or to avoid that type of issue arising, is that more of a conversation you have with the client or with the venue or with the planner? Like, or is it, I mean, that varies.
It varies. I mean, like, I don't think, like, the client would have to get too involved unless it's their house, like a residential home or something. It really falls on the venue. Like, hey, this is how it's going to look. And then maybe with y'all, like, wedding coordinators, of like, hey, this is what I'm going to need. Because they do ask me all the time, like, hey, how many tables you need for this particular setup? And I say, I need 5 6-foot rectangle tables. And they're like, okay. And then I get there and there's only 3 or something. I'm like, well,
I mean, that's a question. That's a question in the planning and coordination questionnaires that we have is how many tables does catering need for dinner? How many tables does catering need for cocktail hour? What size are those tables? Like, and sometimes they say, oh, I don't know, I'll ask them.
Right.
Absolutely. That's fine. If you want to, you can take that over and that be something, especially if we have not facilitated the booking with catering.
Yeah.
And they've only hired us for coordination. We're not necessarily communicating with all the vendors that far ahead of wedding day. But more so, the question exists in the questionnaire to ensure that they're thinking about, oh, that's a valuable piece of information that they need to know.
Right.
Because a lot of times they don't think. They're just, they're just going to show up and set up. It doesn't matter.
Some people think that they're just, the caterer's just going to show up, put his chafing dishes out, and call it a day. It's like, man, I mean, we have so much, like,
you're like, I wish it was that easy.
Like, I need, like,
you have a calculation of how much foot, how many feet of space you need to fit.
Like,
everything.
we're buying these decorations. Like, we want them on this table. Like, I do not want these bare tables. Like, I want them to be full and, like, almost overbearing. Like, I would rather them say, hey, Steven, tone it down a little bit.
Well, and I say,
than us to not do it.
I will say, I think you guys do a really good with your presentation.
Yeah.
You don't just walk up and it's just a line of chafing dishes. You're like, it's like, you see it and
anybody
you're like, wow.
could do that. Like, anybody could do that. That's what I don't like,
Yeah. Again, that's what separates
a
wedding vendor from a great wedding vendor is the ones that want to go that extra mile, take that little extra step.
Right. And I mean, I'm not the best decorator myself, but that's what the girls I have who are phenomenal. And we do butt heads a lot of times of like,
I don't like the way that looks.
I think this needs to go there. And then I've got 5 or 6 of these women telling me I'm wrong. So I just go back to the kitchen area and, trust their judgment.
Okay, y'all handle it.
Okay, this was the vision I had, guys. And they're like, okay, well, we'll try to make it work around that and everything. But, sometimes it doesn't work. But, yeah, I mean, just full table setups and everything because a lot of people can cook good food, I've realized. I mean, your grandma who wants to bring the shrimp dip or whatever, I don't know. I don't care. But it all goes down to the presentation and the service, too. Those are huge parts of the catering I see that are just as important as the food, So.
Do you stick to? I know, like I've seen what's on your wedding menu, I guess, that
Yeah.
they get to choose from.
Yeah.
Do you just stick with that, or do you try to every few months or every year add something new,
Oh, I'm
or
always,
create a dish or something?
It is just a ongoing, always tweaking them. I mean, there's just
So you like what you've got?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like we, see how the wedding packages are going and seeing how the menus go and how they flow and what the guests are saying about them. Just really trying to get any feedback from them. Any feedback's good feedback.
Right.
Right.
So I'm always appreciative for people to come say, what their thoughts are, and it's hard to get it out of them sometimes. People are just, are kind of non-committal.
Over it too at
Yeah,
that point.
like,
When the
yeah.
wedding's over, they're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, so we're always tweaking things. I mean, like, hey, maybe we need to add more these type of dishes to our weddings, or maybe we need to back off on these type of dishes. And it's definitely, ever changing. And I mean, there's so many trends on the food world. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Like, it's every day there's something new, and everything. Like, I mean, just different hacks on how to make things look and stuff.
Right.
There'll be a new baked brie on TikTok everybody's
Oh
doing,
my
or a
gosh.
new Dubai chocolate bar or something.
How
I
did
mean,
that even come about?
I
I just
mean,
saw it on
it's-
TikTok one day.
it's ever evolving, and it'll change, all the time. But yeah, we have a very good core nucleus of the dishes that we know work very well. We know they work well at these weddings because they need to have like a good, I guess I'm going to make up a word, like eatability here at these
Great word.
weddings.
Yeah, I
because,
love it.
Like people say, don't eat like pasta on a first date. Like that's not
yeah, I mean,
the
right.
cleanest thing to eat. Like different
right. Yeah, exactly. How things
levels
like,
of that. Yeah.
most of these people are going to be standing around on bistro tables. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for them to put a plate down. and
Wings
grab
aren't a
two
good idea.
They're not
yeah.
going to grab some
two-handed
ribs.
things, might not work super well, or, things they're going to have to saw, It's
How
just, yeah.
often do you guys change the menu and change your pricing based on the craziness with food costs right now?
Inflation and availability of stuff, and like vendors stocking a product and not stocking that,
Right.
and you're really dependent on that product. Yeah, that's been a fun experiment, and trying to figure that out. I would say, like, pricing wise, I will set the pricing for the year for our wedding packages, and everything is
And
good.
do your best to
yeah,
hold
and
fast.
it's there. Like, once I start getting into like contracts and stuff with prospective clients and stuff, the price is gonna stay there. Like, I'm not gonna go up on them or anything. Now, if you're booking and you haven't booked and you're inquiring, like your 2025 silver package is not going to be the same price in 2026.
Right.
So it will change, and everything. But like we were saying, we're always kind of evolving on the dishes and everything. And a lot of these menus are customizable. Like,
Right.
everybody, I just usually go with the, hey, take a look at these wedding packages and kind of familiarize yourself of the items I do serve at weddings, and we can just start with one package that you like the most, and we can kind of plug
Tweak
and
it.
play and adjust it so it'll fit everything you want and all your needs. And
You can
and
customize
everything.
it to you and what
Right,
what
exactly.
fits you. That's what a
Right,
wedding
yeah,
is.
budget wise, allergy wise, like all that good stuff, we can do that.
Yeah.
So.
You made a really good point. I know the like more all inclusive like resorts and venues that are,
Yeah.
have it all in one place. They have clauses in their contracts that talk about your pricing for food and beverage is going to change.
Yeah.
It can change within the
Right.
confines of this
Yeah.
percentage. And I've had a lot of clients who see that clause and they're like, oh, I mean, how much do you think it's going to change? Like,
yeah.
I'm expecting to spend this much. This is how much
Right.
we've been quoted,
Oh,
and
my
it's going to be
goodness.
more come
Yeah.
wedding day. And I don't have a good answer for
Right.
that because that's the clause that you agreed to. It's in there. They can change the price as much as they want to at that point.
Yeah.
And then I don't think that they're changing the price to price gouge anybody or to
yeah,
pull a
they're just
fast
trying
one
to
on everyone.
protect themselves.
They're trying to
I mean,
protect themselves. they're spending a lot of money on this food for
Right,
you,
yeah.
and it's increasing for them to even purchase it. But I love how you said that that's
Yeah, they're locked
That
in once they've paid
peace
the
of mind
deposit.
that they
yeah,
get.
we're now obviously if they come back and say, hey, we need to add 50 people,
Right.
or we want to add this or something like that, then yeah, there's going to be a price change or something. But yeah, they're going to be locked into that pricing, once we sign a contract and,
Yeah.
and everything. So
That's awesome.
yeah. Because I know the budget sheets. I mean, like, I see my fiance. I mean, she
Yeah.
is all over it. I mean, she's got an Excel spreadsheet that
Her
is.
spreadsheets have spreadsheets.
I
Probably.
mean, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how many
Love
tabs
that.
there are. I mean,
Mhm.
but I'm looking at it and it's like, I mean, if one little thing changes, it throws off this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so how long has she, did y'all meet through your business?
No, we met on Hinge, the dating app. Yeah.
Shut up.
So-
I love that.
Yeah, so we met in 2021 on the.
My husband and I did too. Not Hinge, but Bumble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So.
Y'all
now-
met on Hinge?
Yeah, we did. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yay for online dating.
Yep. Oh yeah.
My
So-
husband
Wait,
and I
so
did
that
not
was in
meet that
20
way, but
Y'all met like
Good
the
job.
way that you're supposed to happen.
That was in
Boring.
in
no,
20,
nothing against
yeah,
dating apps. That's awesome. I love it.
2021. Always
So
like
she, because we had met her at a wedding
that.
previously
Yeah. Uh-huh.
for one of our
Yep.
clients.
Mhm.
So she's not technically
No.
but she's more of a help.
Yeah,
say a
she's the
helping
behind the
hand.
scenes. It's like, hey,
She
I
has
need
stake in the business because it's your dream and she believes
Oh
in
yeah.
your dream.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, she's my ultimate, like, hey, I forgot this. Can you run to the store real quick and get this?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
like, hey, I need this, or something came up. Can you do this for us? Or can you, go back to the kitchen and grab something? Yeah, she's like a behind the scenes now
Yes.
more, which is great and everything.
What you say, obviously, we know it's a lot of work. We see that as wedding professionals in the industry too. But what are the behind the scenes things that you wish clients knew that they do not know that goes into it?
Right. I would say, like, going back to, like, what we were talking about a few minutes ago of, like, all the contingency plans that I'm preparing for.
Mhm.
Like, all the things of, like, look, this is a huge event for you, and this is a big-time milestone. Like, I am doing everything in my power to make sure this is going to go off without a hitch, and it's going to go off super seamlessly. So, like, I'm prepared. I'm ready,
Yeah.
and
Right.
everything. So, I just, the care and the amount of thought that goes into, if 15 things go wrong, we've got this ready to go.
Right. Like
stuff
we didn't
like
just
that.
throw this
And you
together.
didn't
Yeah.
know they went wrong. 'cause we
Right,
handled
exactly. And it never even comes up, so it's just kind of a, they don't know, we don't, it's just kind of a, like something like that. Definitely the planning of, like, how I want this to look, like, for your event. Like, we're just not getting up on a Saturday morning and it's like, oh, well, we've got a wedding today, so
Yeah, I
where are we going to
forgot, 2
put the
o'clock.
pasta with the, no, like, we're, like, drawing up how this line is going to look with the venue. Does it have adequate electrical stuff?
Right.
Like, we've got the carving stations. We've got a lot of decorations that need electrical stuff. And,
Right.
there's a lot of, like, planning that goes into it. Like, cooking food is honestly the most therapeutic and last part of my job. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, this is all I have to worry about right now. I think I can handle this.
Right. It's the before and
Now,
afters of
I'm
it.
like, okay, like, we need this many Schaefers. We need, okay, for this type of wedding venue, we need to have this type of serveware. Like, we need these
Yeah.
serving platters. Like, this is more of a rustic. This is more of a classic ballroom setting. Like, we have so many different decorations that are servingware and stuff that does the same thing, but it just depends on what type of event. What's the vibe of your event, your wedding? Like, so many different. We got all of our seasonal decorations and stuff, and all of that getting rotated and stuff, because, I mean, we'll do a corporate luncheon on a Thursday or Friday that wants, hey, no bells and whistles. We've got all of our, company decor that we want to put up, and, all of our just kind of meat and potatoes, serveware and stuff. But then the next day we've got a wedding that is rustic style with all this wood boards and everything like that. So there's a lot that goes into it that is
Even
like we're
managing
playing.
that
We don't have like
inventory level.
one size fits all stuff. I mean,
Right.
we've got all this different stuff for different events. So we're constantly kind of moving that stuff around and constantly, buying decorations to fit the vibe of your event, wedding.
It's not that you're like, okay, I'm a wedding caterer. It's I cater your wedding, but I
Yeah.
put a lot of thought,
Right.
heart, and soul into this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, one, this is your livelihood, but two, you get a lot of joy into it, and you want to make sure that.
Right.
Well, this is their day. This is their day, and you're a part of it, and
Yeah.
you get to make
It's
a
your
mark
name on it too.
Right.
Like
Yeah, exactly. It's my name. Like
You're not just
I'm
throwing
putting
something
all the-
together.
putting all the we're putting all the effort forth, and it just takes one person to be like, you know what, that was really nice, or that was like
that makes it all worth it.
yeah, like you know what, that whatever dish was, like it was is the best I've ever had of that. Like it was, and it just like makes it all worth it.
I'll say
providing that.
not to be biased, but y'all are one of my favorite caterers
Yeah,
that I worked
appreciate
with.
it. Yeah, exactly.
For so many reasons, but also a lot of your employees, because on wedding days, it's really hard for us as
Yeah,
coordinators to remember to step aside and eat.
yeah,
And your girls are like, hey, by the way, I saved you food.
yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, thank you so much. The amount of times that has
Right.
happened just alone means a lot to me as a coordinator, because I'm making sure everybody else is fed and taken care
You're
of.
doing that
Yeah.
for
I'm doing that for
photography
everybody
and-
else.
Yeah.
And to have somebody do that for me alone means a lot.
Right.
And for that to be like, okay, I went above and beyond for
Yeah.
you, that means that, well, one, that is a good sign of a good leader in general.
Yeah.
So that
Thank you.
that is a lot.
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry.
But I mean, they're like, the staff I have is phenomenal. I mean, I could not say enough good things about them. I mean, they make me look so good, and
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, sometimes they're like, Steven, you should just like drop the truck off and like we can handle it from here, and I'm like,
You're like, so
sure.
a day off?
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty important too, guys. Like, but yeah,
you feel that way not because you don't think they can handle it, but
Yeah.
because you enjoy it too.
Yeah. I mean, I like to be there. Yeah, I would love to kind of shuffle off some of the work here and there, but like, I love being there and seeing, people in a good mood, smiling faces and all that. And I mean, they do a great job. And like, working with like wedding coordinators and stuff, I mean, they've been through the ringer. I mean, we've been through them. So like, we definitely always have, like, we've kind of came about 180 on wedding coordinators. And like, at first it was like, I mean,
I want to
don't
know.
need
Yeah,
'em.
we've
Yeah.
asked all our
no,
other
I mean,
interviews.
just getting
What-
in the way. Yeah.
What do you hate the most about
And who
your
specifically?
planners
No,
and
I'm just kidding.
coordinators?
No, we're not.
And
going
what
there.
do you like the most that they
Just
do or
kidding,
don't do?
don't
You're not
name
going to hurt
them.
our feelings.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
like
you might
to
hurt
be,
mine a little bit. Oh, I'm just kidding. I have a soft heart.
It's like
I definitely
We-
can see the getting in the way.
yeah. We have a contract with all of our clients, and it goes over in great detail what all Simply Seafood is going to provide to you on your wedding day. Timeline or like a time frame for our services, cleanup, breakdown, everything. And like, we don't like, my staff, they are so well trained and well equipped of like how the process works and set up and breakdown and everything, and we really don't need a ton of input from the wedding coordinators.
Right.
We really don't. Like,
Yeah.
and I get it, like, y'all are trying to get all these different vendors like all on the same page, and I see it from that perspective now, so I definitely hats off to y'all for trying to deal with all those people, because I used to just be like, look, I'm just a caterer. I'm going to go in here and do my job. Like,
Leave me
quit
alone.
baby-
leave me
Babysit me.
alone. Like, yeah, really, yeah, quit micromanaging us. Like, I'm the micromanager. Like, I'll do it. Like, it's just like, they don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And it's just like, I'll talk to the wedding coordinators if I need to, if I need
Right.
something, like, so that was kind of how we used to think of them, but now we see, how things flow, how much better things flow when everybody is all on the same page,
right?
and everybody is working together trying to provide like the best day possible for, these people and everything. So, like the thing that used to just irritate me or does irritate me when wedding coordinators kind of overstep their bounds and start trying to give direct orders to my staff and everything. And sometimes I could see where y'all are like, do that. I could see that because these people have hired y'all as well for them to have a seamless wedding day, and you see somebody doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, you're like, I'm the chief, I'm in charge, I need to tell them, hey, go do this or you do this. But then I could see the backlash of like, well, that's not my job.
See, part of me was like, I guess I could, but I also feel like if that were the case, I would rather come to you because that's your people.
I'm always
there is somebody
there's a
there
ladder
that is over that staff,
right?
Yeah.
in you.
And that's, I'm always like, with wedding coordinators, I'm always like, just come to me and then I might be the one that go do it. Like, it's gonna happen, but like, it's really gonna set a bad tone when wedding coordinators start kind of barking orders at different staffs and stuff like that. Like, it's just gonna, it's just gonna
you're not gonna really enjoy working with that.
It's gonna, but I get it and stuff, but I understand,
and I feel like
it.
every scenario and situation is so different. Like,
right,
you guys give clients, this is exactly what we're providing. Here's our time frame, like you just explained. We obviously ask the client, give us that contract so we have that information. If they fail to do that, then we don't have that information. So then we're coming to you asking you, and you're like, I've already given this information out.
Right. I'm
and
repeating
it was just
myself.
that. Right.
Hey, Stephen, are you going to bring linens for the tables? Like, yes. Like, that is in my contract. Like,
right.
And that's my favorite thing is there is a lot of times, especially on like these wedding groups that we're in on Facebook and stuff. Oh my gosh, my coordinator's asking me for the contract. I don't want her knowing what I have agreed and haven't agreed on with these vendors that I have, and telling them how much or showing them how much I've paid, and I don't want them knowing
because it's like,
they don't
how
want,
much are you spending on the wedding
they don't want to
coordinator?
know. They don't want us to know how much they've paid another vendor, what is in that contract, and we have to explain. Well, there's a reason.
I cannot execute.
I need to know
what you've hired me to do if I don't know what they're supposed to be providing.
Right. I mean, prime example of like a wedding coordinator. If everybody would have been on the same page the entire time, it's like, okay, if you're paying for us to bust the tables for a certain amount of time, and we do that, and then we do it for our certain amount of time, and then the ceremony might be kind of getting towards its end, but the caterer, like, we're pretty much packed up out of there by the time they're doing either sparkler send-offs or something, and then they're like, well, who's going to help clean up the venue? I'm like, well, I mean, they contracted us to bust the tables during this allotted amount of time.
Right.
But we're not here until the lights go out.
Right. Yeah, we don't work here.
That's another question in the questionnaire.
And it's such a blame game of like, does the caterer bust the table? Does the venue? Does the wedding coordinators? Like, who is supposed to clean up at the end of the night? Like,
that's another perfect example of the reason some questions exist in our questionnaires is not also, because we're saying we'll do it, but because we're trying to get you to think about that detail.
Right, yeah.
Unless your catering contract explicitly states that they are there to bust tables until the lights are out, they will not.
Right, exactly, yeah. I mean, if you want us there until midnight or until the lights go out, here is the additional fee. Like, let's just all be up front about that.
And I think, honestly, like us asking for contracts from other vendors, catering is one of the main ones that I'm looking for the most because there are so many ins and outs of those little details.
Right. I mean,
for videography, now I don't necessarily need your videographer's
contract.
I need to know. I need to know how long they're contracted to be there.
Right.
And if there are any clauses for the day of, but otherwise their contract is covering them as far as intellectual rights for the content and how long their turnaround time is after the fact. That's not necessarily something that's going to affect wedding day itself. Your contract, everything in your contract is day of. That we need to know that. We need the DJ. Like, there's very specific contracts that are more important for us to have to know that information, and catering is at the top of that list, I think.
Are you cutting the cake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like definitely. Like
I definitely need to know that.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, like, I don't have any flat, like, like, oh, the mom of the bride said they were going to bring the flatware, and it's like, y'all don't know that. Like,
That's in the questionnaire.
Things
Who's providing
things
dinnerware?
lost,
Who's providing
like,
serving
like,
utensils?
Yeah, so
So many
and then
things
that's
get
where
lost.
that's where I do love, like, wedding coordinator getting involved and, like, being proactive of, like, double crossing every T and dotting every I of, like, making sure, hey,
because when they read that
bringing
question,
this.
they may not have hired you to do it, but then they come back to you and say, hey, can we either add this or it's not in our contract? What do we need to do about it?
Right.
It gets their brain flowing for the right questions.
Yeah. I've always wondered from y'all's perspective, like, how do y'all go about, like, referring caterers, and, like, I'm always curious of how much weight wedding coordinators have over bridegroom.
Choices.
Picking other vendors, because I'm like, man, I've never worked with. I would have liked to work that wedding, but I don't really know that wedding coordinator. I don't have any bad. I've never worked a wedding with them or something like that, so they don't know anything about me. Basically,
right,
is what I'm getting at. So they're never going to refer me to a client or something like that. But I mean, I'm a pretty one size fit all of, like, I can work with anybody, and we can work with anybody. So I'm always kind of curious on the weight that a wedding coordinator's voice has over bride and grooms, of selecting vendors and everything like that.
I think it varies. So there's two ways to go about it. If it's one of our brides, I think it definitely holds a fairly good weight. They're going to listen, but sometimes they already have their people picked. Right. I will say, though, I have noticed on, for example, I do say these Facebook pages because there are so many brides and grooms on there that are looking. Like, that's where all of our...
Those
go
pages,
through and read other people's posts
so
through the comments to contact people on their own.
And I will say, if you go on there and say, hey, hi, I'm so-and-so, a coordinator here, I'm clicking on that post. I'm clicking on who's saying, hey, I'm a coordinator. Hey, I'm a day of planner. Hey, I'm a decorator. Like, I'm in this industry. I'm going to click on that first before anything else. And I've noticed that carries way more weight as a coordinator. I can tell our voice gets heard more. Yeah. Than if you were to say, oh, hey, we had this wedding, or hey, I was a bride.
My daughter got married last spring and used so-and-so.
Or I just got married and I used so-and-so. Okay, cool, great. And then you say, hey, yeah, I just got married. Oh, under here, hey, I am, for example, hey, I'm Bamari. Da-da-da-da-da. Click, okay, hired. Like, that's...
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, it, of course, depends if they, when in their process have they hired us. So if it is just coordination, most likely they've already gotten all of their vendors booked, fine. And we just have to work with whoever they give us on their list.
That's fine.
Now, as far as planning clients go that hire us for full planning or even partial planning, just to assist with sourcing those vendors, obviously we have to gather as much information from them as possible in order to know even a starting point of who to go get quotes from. Catering wise, hey, I need this is my budget for catering. We want this food item. We want somebody that provides this. We don't want a travel fee. We don't answering all these questions. Some people are like, nope, we don't really. We want Southern comfort food, and that's all we get out of it. Some people say, I do not want to spend more than $50 a plate. Some people say, I cannot spend more than or we want to go between $15 and $30 a plate, and so that's a good starting point. And then it obviously helps when we have worked with catering teams before. That's not to say I don't recommend or get quotes from vendors that we haven't worked with, because it's the same thing. I'm seeing these posts. Another catering team that I see them commenting all the time and posting all the time. I'm looking at their stuff. I haven't worked with them before. Yeah, let me get a quote from them. Let me include them in that proposal because it's someone that I would like to potentially work with.
Someone that I see good reviews from that I haven't.
Yeah.
So
or
those
I know another coordinator in Alabama personally
worked with, yes, and has said good things
all
with.
the time.
So it's comes back to clients book vendors based on word of mouth. I feel like your wedding planners kind of do the same. So when I give a proposal to a client, it's got 5 quotes from different vendors that would fit the bill.
Yeah.
Some of those are, this is my like number 1 preferred vendor. I want to work with them over anybody else at any time because of my personal preferences.
I will say, if I've worked a wedding with you and it was, you did not leave a taste in my mouth, then I'm not putting you on that list.
Yeah. Or like, here's just a recommended vendor. We've worked with these next 3 people multiple times. Never had an issue. They are answering, they're checking all your boxes that you've told us need to be checked. And then here's 2 more vendors that we haven't worked with. We've always heard great things about. And that's kind of how I always go about giving proposals. And then the client can go through that with their fiance. They say, hey, we want to go with, vendor C. And so then I go back to vendor C and I say, hey, they want to move forward. And then they handle the contract and payment and such. And then I go back to everybody else that gave us a quote and say, thank you so very much.
Right. Yeah.
Let them close it out because we obviously know the pains that come with being ghosted.
Oh, sure.
After you've given out a quote. I mean, it takes time to put together a quote.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'm sure it's always been like that, but I mean, it's so tailored to them. I mean, it's rarely do I book an event or wedding where they're just like, I want this package and that's it. Like there's a lot of like moving part. I mean, they want to make it their own, and they, have these special requests or allergen issues or whatever. It takes a little bit of figuring out. I mean,
and probably too them asking like, can I make this change or do I have to pick from this set list?
Right.
Because they're not certain. That most people have never done it before, so they don't know. And that's just a quick reminder of. I mean, even when I give out our pricing guide for the planning packages, I'm like, this is just like to get your brain going in the right direction. Everybody's wedding is so very different, so your needs is different from the next. You tell me what you think you need and I can guide you in the right direction and get you something customized.
Right.
And I think that's the case should be the case with any offerings of any vendors.
Right. It's just I've always been curious on like how they found those vendors and stuff like that. Like do the wedding coordinators, because I've worked with wedding coordinators in the past that have been pretty standoffish on using anybody else for certain things. Like, hey, I need you to come here do a tasting, and I mean, you're the caterer, but like it's just gonna be stuff like that, like
my last couple of full planning clients, I think they even already had their catering booked, and a lot of them have been in like the all-inclusive.
Yeah.
Like their venue requires catering to be sourced through them. And
I've seen a lot of like some popular wedding venues down here have the outside caterers can't come in there. Stuff like that.
Well, one of the big ones, we've got a big wedding coming up next May, and it's at Centennial, so that cut out having to source bar and food.
Yeah,
that I don't want to say makes my job easier because I didn't have to source that, but it was a big chunk of that part of the planning that didn't have to happen. I feel like catering is sometimes a bigger sticker shock for couples when they get in the planning, realizing how much it is like actually per person to feed somebody. Do you have that conversation with clients? What is that?
Or how do you go about giving that?
The sticker shock, and they don't realize it's not just a food cost. Like it's not.
Thank you for saying that.
It's not just a food cost.
I'm going to a restaurant. Why am I buying a $35 meal?
Yeah, I mean, it's the service charge that goes into it. That service charge. Hey, what's the service charge? Service charge is basically our rates that we pay head cooks, server staff, all of our licensing, insurance, I mean, gas in the truck. I mean, all of our
In order to operate.
a big admin fee if you want,
Yeah,
I
your
mean,
overhead.
Yeah, I mean, you could put it anything you want. I mean, it's like these staff does not make regular $2 and whatever cents server pay. And then gratuity is totally up to the client's discretion. It's not required. It is gladly accepted, but the service charge just makes sure everybody's going to be taken care of at the end of the night. And like what I was saying, the other things of the gas, insurance, overheads, things like that. And then, yeah, that's a huge chunk of it. And that's what people don't realize. Like, hey, this menu's kind of a little bare, but it's still this much. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, it's a lot. I mean,
You're not just buying the chicken tenders.
200 people here. I mean, this is a lot of. If you want, Aunt Patty to, put up a pans together. I mean, you're more than welcome to. But this is what it costs. I mean,
Do y'all have something in your contract? Like, will you take that pan from Aunt Patty and set it out in your lineup and serve it? Like,
yeah.
What are your
very like? It's I believe like if I know correctly, I believe you're not supposed to do that with like the health department.
Right.
Stuff
That's what I was gonna say.
I think it's something with the health
where does
department.
that liability fall back?
I've never really had that issue come up. I mean, like it's
Nobody really wants Aunt Patty's dish that much.
I mean, it's
you can keep your spinach and artichoke dip, Aunt Patty.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I think like a long time ago, some people were like, "Hey, we've got this restaurant that we also provide." That I'm like, "Okay, I'll work with you here." Because you have a restaurant.
We need to hire your staff and your serving and your setup.
Doing it like it's coming from a licensed, inspected kitchen facility. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm not providing Aunt So-and-so shrimp dip. I don't know what kind of setup she's got there.
Short answer is you tell the client, no, we
we
can't. Y'all can set it up on your own table, but we can't staff it.
It has nothing to do with Simply Seafood that day. It's
Aunt Patty can keep that at her table, and y'all.
Well, and that, the answer to that, like you said, is no.
Because if somebody gets sick,
sorry for naming Patty,
I can't take on that liability.
Yeah, if somebody gets sick, I mean, the first thing they're gonna come is crack down on me and everything.
And that's why we have a service charge.
I mean,
to circle back around
to pay that insurance.
Exactly. So it's but yeah, I've had it asked a couple times, but the only time I've actually ever provided it is if they particularly had a restaurant. So
So do y'all have a flat like package fee, like package 1, package 2, package 3, like that's our flat fee? Or
So the each wedding package ranges in price.
Okay.
I believe I use 5 current wedding packages, and they go up from basically what you're looking for. I mean, the top of the top is going to be our platinum package. All the bells and whistles. Very high end dishes, and then it goes all the way down to economical package, and it has more of a economical fare. Because I mean, like I'm gonna be honest, like some people are just not concerned with the food. And
they want to party. And
they're
drink
just
and
like,
have
hey,
fun.
if you got hot food out here, give us the very generic
Some chicken tenders and
characters.
some baked beans.
I mean that's fine too. If all
That's what I had in my
all
wedding.
clients are good clients. It's no issues there.
I think I have brisket.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want. So, yeah, we range in price on the wedding packages, and there are a bunch of, like, add-ons you can do on there and stuff, just like any other menu, you get to a restaurant or something. So,
substitution.
Yeah, I mean, hey, for $1 more, you can add this, or $2 more.
Are
I'm
you
a picky
celiac?
eater, so I'm always the
Abby
one.
is always looking for chicken fingers.
Oh, yeah.
She has the appetite of her toddler child.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Now, I want to ask, so cake cutting.
Yes.
Please, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I always get stuck.
I think I've had to train Cassie on cake cutting a time.
You have.
A time or 3.
And yeah,
I now feel prepared though. I actually almost offered to cut my father-in-law's cake yesterday, but then I kept that to myself because I know I'll need it in the future.
Really, yeah.
But thanks to Steven, I can now cut a wedding cake.
Cake cutting, yeah. I mean,
Because he's watched me struggle too many times.
It's part of the gig, and I don't have an issue with it now. There was a time when I really wasn't good at it or didn't know what I was doing.
You looked like me doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I took one time, but another learning experience, but
Way to keep me humble.
and, but yeah, I mean, like from my perspective, I'm like, okay, you got to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
But it is a common misconception sometimes. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like now we're starting to kind of include that in our services of like, hey, we're gonna cut the cake and everything. I used to kind of be like, oh, I'll let them tell me if they want me, and if they want me to, I'll just here's the service for it, and stuff
Right.
like that. But yeah, now we're kind of starting to move into include it because I ended up being like, well, I'm just doing it every time. Like they're wanting me to do it.
So, you don't have it listed as like here is an add-on.
Yeah, I
it
do.
costs this much, like ahead of the fact, so they're already thinking about when they
Yes.
see their
Right.
first quotes from you.
Right. So every time, like, once we start to get in like contracts with the client, before like they get the contract, it has all of their pricing on it, and then like on the second page, it has all of our additional
Right.
services. Like, hey, if you're wanting something fried on site, this is how much it costs. Hey, if you're wanting cake cutting, if you're wanting bussing tables, if you're wanting seafood boiled or something, these are the additional fees that do come up that they are totally optional, but if you want them,
Get them
yeah.
thinking about it.
Right,
Do we have
exactly.
somebody that can cut
If
the
you
cake?
ever see,
Right.
so if you see them hit no to cutting the cake, are you ever like, hey, are you sure? Do you have somebody doing it?
yeah,
I just only curious because
I'm like, okay, well, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna bring 150 forks or 300 forks? Because you got
Right.
the groom's cake, you got the bride's cake, you got all these plates, these napkins. Like, I can do it. You just gotta let me know. Like,
Yeah.
And the wedding coordinator is gonna be really thrown off last minute if they have to do
she
it.
really will.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Or you wanted to make some aunt feel important and cut the wedding cake. Like, be my guest.
And
but-
then they drink too much and can't.
yeah, I
Aunt,
mean,
Aunt Paula comes up and
exactly.
says, will you cut the cake? I've had one too many.
Yeah, exactly.
happens
She
a
doesn't
lot.
have gloves, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Right.
one thing after another. So yeah, we've
Always be
kind of
asking
Or
about
now they're
gloves.
mad
We've-
because they're drunk and they're cutting a cake and they're like, I didn't even want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, we've transitioned into kind of just, hey, we are gonna cut the cake. This is how much it costs. If you don't want me to, I will take this off.
No, I
Right.
like you saying it like that. Like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, but
It's
if you no longer
already
want the
included
service,
Yeah.
in your
it's
what?
minus X amount. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that better because then they're like, oh well, if it's already in there, then just keep it on.
Another thing we said earlier to touch on doing two weddings. So
Yeah. Yeah, we're at a point now where we're able to do 2 weddings in a day, whether it is it really depends on the moving parts of each wedding, because I'm never going to get to a point where I'm just spreading ourselves so thin that we're not being able to provide the best food presentation
you're opening
and
yourself
service.
opening yourself up to more issues.
Yeah, it's really not worth it in the end of letting a client down. Like, that's kind of the top
because you're trying to be
priority.
too many places at once.
Yeah, I mean, like, everybody wants to get married on the third Saturday of October. Like, there's only so much that me personally, we can book, So we've kind of capped it at 2, dependent on what one wedding entails or the other one entails. Like, we will block off a day if it's one wedding and it's just all the bells and whistles. But, if one of them is a little bit more straightforward, not the largest guest count or the venue kind of dictates our buffet setup to where it's pretty drop and serve with all of our decorations and linens, then we might be inclined to book 2 weddings in a day.
So we're not doing like 200-300 person weddings with a platinum package.
No, couldn't
and
do that. No, we're not to that point. Maybe one day, but like we're definitely not to that point at all. So yeah.
But you're not. So y'all are gonna do a 2-person wedding if it's like, okay, our schedules are open to this, but that's not
Yes.
our standard.
Right,
But we-
exactly. I don't love to do it.
What's your
but then-
sweet spot? Like, what's your guest count where you're like, okay, this is great. This is where I'm most comfy.
Yeah, I mean anything I'm gonna say, because I'm thinking, price wise, but like I mean, anything over 100 guests is kind of a good starting point there. But I mean, we've done weddings for 350, 400 people. I mean, it gets up there. I mean, it definitely gets up there. But if you have the right planning and the right like venue, and it can go off like really easily. Like it's don't put your vendors in a situation where they're gonna fail. Like if we're set up for success, like let them do their job.
It's all possible.
It is all possible.
Like we were talking about residential.
Yeah, I mean residential weddings. I mean they have a lot of challenges to them with like water
but if
supply.
You handle it all.
Yeah, if everything is accounted for, then it can be done. Like it can be done.
If you set them up to succeed, then it can go off well. So then that's my next question though, of setting your vendors up to succeed. So I don't know if this technically applies to that, but in my head it kind of does. What do you or do you not like cocktail hour?
Hot take.
I've
always needed to know. I've needed to know this. It was a burning question in my heart.
I love a cocktail hour with
I personally
past hors d'oeuvres. To me, that puts such a nice high touch on it.
I need cocktail hour to happen. One, for my sanity, because we're down the aisle. I can breathe for a minute. Also, I need to light the candles.
Did bride and groom do a first look? Do they need more time for pictures? Do they not? There's a lot of factors.
There's things that help me in that moment, but I also like cocktail hour for so many reasons. But for you, do you as a caterer like cocktail hour, or do we not like cocktail hour? Do we want to just get to the dinner? Is there too many hands and too many baskets? Like, what is that the icing on the cake for you guys? Like, what do you prefer as a caterer?
That's a good question. I personally would prefer to serve everything at one time. It would alleviate a lot of headache and possibility of issues arising and stuff.
Food safety,
Food safety is huge, and like timing wise, like we were talking about timing and everything, and I don't mind the cocktail hour, like you were saying, past, like yes, past is great, like that is good. It's done well, and you can move it around. The grazing tables get a little tough, to say the least. I would say, but they're such a presentation thing. They are such a big presentation thing. Like
they are.
They look nice. Honestly, I feel like the nicer we make them, the less people eat off of them. So that's very frustrating.
I've actually noticed that the last few weddings. I feel like the nicer they get, I'm like, why is nobody touching this?
I'm like, this took a long time to put together.
Or is it in an area where you can
right.
have enough time to make it look nice enough while the ceremony is going on? Or is it at the back of the ceremony and everybody...
So then that's my question,
nobody
though,
knows where it's at.
Because we have the grazing table during the cocktail hour. Now you're having to restock the grazing table, which is taking your people away from getting ready for...
Right, yeah. What an issue is when they're saying, hey, cocktail hour is only going to be 30 or 45 minutes, and then it turns into an hour and a half.
Oh, my gosh.
That's when I'm going to get a little upset. I mean, it's just because our, we're paid, like, contract is done by a certain amount of hours we're with you guys. The staff is paid by that certain amount, like it's calculated up for that. So now we're kind of sitting here longer because
back into food safety. Have you dropped food yet? It can only sit for so long.
Yeah, I mean, food has such a short shelf life on that stuff. I mean, that is the biggest thing too, and it's just like the dances turn long or the photos didn't take right beforehand. So I hate when things kind of get thrown off, timeline so much and everything. Like we're planning on starting at 6 and we're not starting until 7. Like
we want to keep it as close to the actual start time as possible.
Everything is dictated around that. So like I don't want this food sitting for another hour. Like I'm ready to serve it. Like it's ready to go. And then the grazing tables, like they like. Like I mean, I haven't been doing this for 30 years, so we're like still learning on like what's the best.
It's like you hold enough, stake in the game now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen what works and what doesn't work, but it's just like, like putting those boards together and stuff. Like it is so time consuming and tedious, and that is a huge labor thing,
right.
and everything, and it takes a couple people to do that.
Right.
Whether we're doing them, at the kitchen facility earlier that day, or we're doing them at the wedding venue, like close to serving time. Does the wedding venue have adequate space for us to put these together? Does the wedding venue dictate us to have enough space to put all this stuff? Because I got a lot of stuff, and there's only so much we can put on this little round table you wanted us to use. Like I needed 2 6-foots for this, or I needed an 8-foot or something, So,
yeah.
So that's where I get a little upset sometimes, or feel like I'm kind of playing with one hand behind my back when I've got this idea of how this needs to look, and then the venue is like, no, you're gonna have just this one little table here, and that's it. They said that was enough, and I'm like, well, I really got a lot more stuff here. We're just gonna have to keep replenishing this little bitty setup, but we can make this huge, large, elaborate setup. And then I have seen, I don't know if this is a trend or something. It's something I've seen over the past couple of years, is these businesses that just do the charcuterie boards and the charcuterie grazing stables, and some people do want that as just their wedding catering.
My sister had that for her wedding.
People want that.
Hot
I've
take.
Seen it,
Hated it.
I
wanted. I was so hungry. My dad had to bring me a whole thing of breadstick. Like the whole thing of bread.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
me
I
and my
had
dad had to
a
eat
couple
that
who
because
that's how
no
they
food.
did it.
Yeah.
But it was a very small wedding. It was more of just like, it was more of a cocktail hour vibe for their reception. They did not even have guests at their ceremony. That was just a family only ceremony. Guests came after the fact, after a normal dinner time would have been, to come and drink and hang out.
I get that.
And that setting worked very well.
Yeah.
I get that. Me personally, just let me order a pizza or something, because I need a little. I need a little
or bring out the
sustenance.
fun late night snack at that point too. Like that's another fun trend that some people do.
We had
bring in the pizza.
I'm all for a fun late night snack, because I've been at a few weddings where there was a catering issue, and the late night snack saved the day. Thank heavens for Domino's.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much.
I've just seen people over order the late night snack. If they're not if they're not wanting the caterer to do it, and they want like a fast food or a pizza place, and they just completely over order.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't run out of food as a caterer. Like that's
how do you avoid that? Actually, I need to know this question. How do you avoid that?
I will say there's always another pan in the back.
Okay, I was gonna say, what's the formula?
Knock on wood.
Like, is there
knock
a formula?
on wood. I mean, it's just, you can't, I can't like get it down to an exact science of like, okay, we're going to have 150 people. There's going to be exactly 150 portions of said dish. Like, that's the minimum I'm saying. Like, that's the minimum I'm going to set it at. Like, you can't dial it in to exactly 150. Like, I'm going to have more. Like, because it is just not worth it. That extra, whatever that dish costs to make, the time, the labor, it is not worth it to run out, because to me that is the biggest cardinal sin in catering of like, the caterer was great, but he ran out of food, so I didn't even try that.
Well, I feel like every time I've left a wedding that y'all have worked, I personally have taken home
there's just
food.
Like it's enough.
I have taken home buckets of food.
Yeah.
And ate off of it for weeks.
Yeah. And I mean, you got some people that are just crazy eaters, and like you weren't really accounting for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, you can also do like portion control stuff by getting staff on the line to actually put things on there and everything. But,
unfortunately, we do live in America.
It's just, I don't know. My kind of thought process is like that person that's said overeating that particular dish or got a large portion, they're going to make up for those probably 15 people that didn't even get that.
Right.
Or something. Like, it'll kind of even out. Like, but, there's always, like, we definitely are always got to have extra stuff in the back,
Right.
There's more of that food.
Definitely.
If there's one thing, let's say somebody listens to this podcast, everything goes in one ear out the other. If there's one thing that you wanted a bride or groom or vendor to take away, what would the one thing be if you were to tell them?
I mean, just one thing I would say is hire a wedding coordinator.
Hey,
Period.
did y'all hear that?
There we go. I mean, I've changed my tune. If I can change, anybody can change.
That's right.
You're also a soon-to-be groom, though, so you
Who's in the thick of it.
are able to see the value in it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, 4 years ago, my tune would have been like, yeah, that's the biggest waste of money ever.
Yeah.
You
But
don't
hey,
need it.
just like he said, if he can change,
But
so can
then,
you.
I mean, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, so.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. I think we
Yes.
covered a lot of great topics. Before we wrap up, though, if you want to shout out y'all's social media and stuff, we will, of course, link it. But
Yes, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Simply Seafood and Catering.com. And yeah, we, full service catering company, handle obviously weddings, corporate events, birthdays, class reunions, just, anytime people are trying to get together, we can provide it, so full service, drop off, whatever you're looking for. But, it's been really good talking about the wedding industry and stuff. It's a beast of its own. It really is. And I really couldn't imagine I was like I'm in the wedding industry, like, when I'm going through college and like working outside of school and like, yeah, I'm never gonna deal with any of that
And
stuff.
here you are,
and then,
sitting
like,
in a
now,
room with us
now
two.
here I am, like, going to like Hobby Lobby at like 7:00 at night. Like,
Do we have
gotta-
enough babies, Brad?
Where are these pumpkins at? Like, or like, we need more of these candles, or like learning the terminology of like, this
the
is
wedding world.
this is a Hawaiian muted decorations, or I'm like,
Yeah.
what is
Isn't it so
muted?
funny when you're like, if y'all
Did
would
you
have
know
talked to me
what
about
was the
this,
charger
Like,
plate?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, if
it
y'all
is
would have,
funny.
this is so funny to
Yeah.
think about.
But yeah, thank y'all for having me on here, and I hope this was good. I had a good time for
Thank
sure.
you for coming by.
Nobody kind of sees our same like what we see and everything, so like they don't know like what we're talking about. Like friends that are not in the industry,
Right.
and they don't understand the pains and
Yeah.
the things that
Well, the things
that
that
we
we talk
do
about
go through
behind the
there,
scenes
the,
too.
the triumphs and tribulations
Yes.
and all that. So it's
Yeah.
it's a roller coaster, but it is fun. It is very self-gratifying. I do love doing it. I
Mhm.
would have definitely thrown it to the woods if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I fell in love with it, and I'm in here. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for coming
Thank
by. We
y'all.
appreciated it.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Until next time.
Bye. Thanks for listening to The Hitch List.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share your wins and woes. We want to celebrate or commiserate with you.
Until next time, where creativity meets celebration and details matter.
Want to be featured as an event vendor on the Hitch List? Send us a message. We'd love to share your stories and behind the scenes moments.